here we are. You got Lee Duran, the finance man, and who do we have?
Chris Dominguez, the podcast genius.
There you go. That's pretty good. That's kind of cute. And who are we here with?
Vanessa Sharp, the Sharp Lender.
Yeah.
Sharp Lender. I'm going to guess you're a lender. Is that right?
I sure am.
What does that mean?
Good. See, I'm pretty smart.
You know, I don't even know who coined that term. I'm not really a fan of it.
Yeah?
But, I mean, it's what we say.
Okay.
Loan officer, sales manager. I don't know. What do you guys call yourselves?
Therapist.
That too. Someone that gets yelled at.
What do you call yourself?
Loan officer extraordinaire.
I thought it was finance man, but okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, finance man. Yeah, go finance man. That's kind of the brand. Whatever.
What do you call yourself, Chris?
Genius.
Okay.
Every morning when he wakes up, he's like, I'm a genius. Mom said I was a genius.
I just put genius behind everything.
Everything.
Okay.
Podcast genius, loan genius.
He comes out of the bathroom. It's weird.
I like it.
Lunch genius.
Lunch
I
when I
like it.
decide to lunch.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
it's
just genius all around.
Tell us something interesting about you.
Yeah,
I know you're interesting, but tell the world why you're interesting.
Like in what respect?
Let's talk about this morning.
Okay.
Tell me about your morning.
Yeah, my day started very interesting. I had to give my son the Heimlich this morning. It was
The what?
a little bit Heimlich maneuver.
Oh my God.
Does anyone know how to do that?
That sounds like high tech. That sounds high tech.
I don't even know if I did it right, but let's just say he's still alive.
That's
yeah.
a good way to start the day.
He was choking on some cereal, Cookie Crisp to be exact.
Okay.
Phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah.
It's my fave.
Right.
And the size of it is literally just the perfect size for a 5-year-old to get stuck in their throat. And I just saw him kind of motionless. And my son's name is Jackson. I was like, Jackson, talk. He wouldn't talk. My husband's telling him to cough. And I'm like, he's probably not going to talk if he can't talk. But anyway, so he sat there for probably about 45 seconds. I'm like, all right. I'm like pounding on his back. Nothing's happening. I finally went around and gave him what I think is the Heimlich, or what my mom taught me as the Heimlich. And he finally just coughed and he was fine. But it was an emotional morning because it was kind of scary.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
intense.
Your adrenaline's flying.
Sharp lender and Heimlich maneuver person. Extraordinaire, whatever you want to call it. There you go.
with that. That's pretty
I need
cool.
to save lives where I go.
Not just a life, your child. That's amazing. High
I
five.
literally was reaching for my phone to call 911
Fist bump.
because I'm like, if I can't do this, like how long, like my brain sometimes goes to worst case scenario every time, which is not the best. So I'm like, okay, he's going to not be breathing for like 5 minutes. He's probably going to lose brain cells. What's going to happen then? Like literally my mind was going there at that moment.
That fast.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's your kid, so
Yes.
I would imagine that it's even harder to do that because if I'm at a restaurant and I see another kid going through that,
Yep.
I think I could logically help them without being emotional. But
Have you guys ever thought your kid was kidnapped, by the way?
Oh my
'Cause
God,
that's
all the
just
time
as
at the
scary.
store. All the time.
That happened to me one time, probably about 2 months ago. My husband went on a walk with them. My son did not come back. He decided to hide from everyone. So I'm out in the front yard just crying and screaming my head off because I can't find him. Literally, I thought you would have thought somebody died the way I was crying. My daughter was crying because I'm like, Jackson! Like, I'm screaming. Anyway, just thought I'd share that
And
with
then
you.
he pops
that
out.
Full
was
panic.
like,
I go into full panic mode at times. It's not good.
So he pops out and says, "Here I am."
Oh, yeah, all of a sudden. And I'm like,
And then you want to beat the crap out of him.
I
want to
be,
right?
yeah, absolutely. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, we thought you were gone. I thought like a coyote took you. I wasn't sure. So,
Coyote was an option.
well, yeah, because we live up like literally near Mount Baldy Road.
And they just
So
come by
they're
and take
just
kids.
hanging out.
There's
They just
big
kind of take
birds
kids.
that pick up kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Big birds.
Get out of here.
Snatch up
We
babies.
had
No
we had
way.
a bobcat in our backyard on a video.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
No,
Can't you? The kids love those things.
it was 3 a.m. We just got on video. Jay loves to. He would probably like to just take a little BB gun to that thing, but no, not at 3 a.m.
All right.
All right, so tell us about your interesting career.
Okay,
I'm sure you deal with
I
some
have.
characters, right?
We'll go way back because this industry, I just kind of fell upon this industry. So let's see, gosh, a little bit more than 20 years ago. So I went to Cal Poly Pomona. My degree was in apparel manufacturing, right? Nothing to do with our world, right? So I'm like, I'm going to be a fashion designer. So after Cal Poly, I went to fashion.
Hold up, full stop. They actually offer a degree.
A degree in apparel manufacturing. It's under the College of Agriculture. You would never know.
A degree from the College of Agriculture.
Yep.
For apparel manufacturing.
And that's actually how I met my husband because his degree was food marketing, and we were under the same college. So college orientation.
Well, she threw college up in quotes, just so you know. So tell me about this.
Well, no, because there's different colleges within Cal Poly, like College of Engineering. Like it's
okay.
like
Okay,
so
got it.
for college orientation, everybody goes to orientation under their college, if you will.
So he's
College
learning
of
food, you're
Agriculture-
learning clothes.
Exactly.
Perfect
So it was
match.
like the third day we met. But anyway, so that's how I got started.
Okay.
And then after Cal Poly Pomona, I went to Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in downtown LA. A friend of mine, I think it was my second year, because I wanted to get a second degree in design because they don't really teach you the physical design aspect of it at Cal Poly. So I went there, my friend was working at a company in Beverly Hills I think she was a dock drawer. She's like, hey, they're paying really good money. On our off hours, we should go work there. So I did. Long story short, that's kind of how I got started. I was kind of dock drawing.
So from Pomona to Beverly Hills?
Yes.
What year?
Gosh, this was 2004-ish. Yeah.
Okay. So things are screaming back then. Things are moving.
Yeah, it was
things
great.
are
It was, and I was
screaming.
like, oh my God. And I love high energy. I love adrenaline. So I was like, people are going crazy here. They look like they're making lots of money. Like I was like, I want to be part of this.
They were just
So,
panicking.
Right? Yeah,
Everybody's in
that
the
too.
panic- in the
Like
middle
if
of
I didn't
panic.
get docs out in time, I was freaking out because full panic mode. That's what I do. So that's how I got started. Then, I kind of didn't, once I graduated FITM, I kind of did my own fashion thing.
FITM? Hold on.
FITM? Yeah,
What happened to Cal
yeah.
Poly?
Well, because I finished Cal Poly, then I went to FITM for a 1-year extra degree, and that's how I got into
FITM
the
stands
mortgage.
for what again?
Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising.
Yeah, you get into the acronyms, you kind of blow me
Exactly.
away there. Yeah,
See,
So you
FITM.
get your degree and then you go to FITM so that
For
you
a
can
1 year.
break into the
For
industry?
correct, for an
Thought?
additional degree.
Okay.
And so while I was going to
Is FITM a scam?
I mean, kind of.
Honest, be honest.
But here's the thing. I'm going to say it is in some aspects and it's not in some others because I still have friends that I'm friends with from there and they're doing great. Like I have one girl that runs a whole entire dress design for like Macy's. Like she's doing great. One girl's off traveling the world for Adidas. Like, so some of them do well.
Well, let me give you my example. I had a lot of friends that went to
It's
Cordon
expensive
Bleu,
too, by the way.
and they say that it's way better to start in the restaurant industry as a busser and work your
Very
way
true.
through the process instead of spending thousands of dollars on a useless degree.
Let me tell you something. My one of my best friends from high school, her dad owns like 10 IHOPs, just started from being a busser.
Yeah, that's
One of
that's,
the owners literally sold him the restaurant. He was super old. He's like, I don't want this restaurant anymore. Do you want it? I'll give it to you. You can give me payments. Years down the road, he owns like 10 IHOPs, multimillionaire.
Yeah.
And he never went to Cordon Bleu.
Yeah.
Not that you have to do that for IHOP, but it's like, it's just more of,
But that's where they end up.
yeah.
They end up
No.
being a cook at IHOP.
And a lot of girls that I know that went to FITM were not fortunate enough to have, my parents helped me pay for that, but it's not a cheap school. It's not. So it is worth it in some ways, but it's not in others. But so long story short, I was working in the mortgage industry while I was at FITM. Then once I graduated, I'm like, okay, let me leave the mortgage industry because I got to give my parents their money's worth for at least a little while.
you got to make mom and dad happy.
Right?
That's good. Okay.
Yeah, boss.
And I still lived at home, so I was commuting, okay?
Yeah.
Which was basically 3 hours a day in the car of me just crying.
Where were you living?
We lived in Rancho Cucamonga at the time. So I went to work for Forever 21 as their woven tops designer.
Woven
Yes.
tops designer. That sounds
Yes.
important.
This sounds like a seasonal
I
job.
know.
Well, no, actually, it was like working in a sweatshop. It was very frightening. They wouldn't let you go out for lunch. You had to put your thumbprint to clock in and out. And they would actually have a cafeteria there that you had to eat lunch at. We had no windows in our design rooms because they wanted nobody to see anything.
What city?
All white walls, off Alameda in downtown LA.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sounds a little creepy.
Yeah, the owners were Korean. I mean, they were great, but it was, it smelled like kimchi in there every day. But hey, if you like it, then it's cool. But I wasn't a kimchi fan. So, it was interesting. So I was there for like maybe 6 months because I just couldn't take that commute. And so finally I was like, all right, I'm going to keep, figuring out where I'm going to go. Then I actually tried to have my own swimwear line, which was kind of good for a little while.
At Forever 21?
No, just my own. My dad helped me start my own swimwear line.
Oh, okay.
And I got on the cover of, I don't know if you guys remember a magazine called like 909. Anyway, it was like some Inland Empire
You were on the
magazine.
cover?
I was
Look at you.
Yeah.
Swimsuit or you?
in a swimsuit that
You.
I made,
You.
that I
So
designed.
you were the
Yes.
talent and the swimsuit.
Correct.
Oh, okay, cool.
Back then, I could do that. Now, not so much. So after that, I had my friend that actually had worked at, it was called CS Financial, the place I had started with the whole loan business back then. She's like, hey, they're opening a branch in Glendora kind of close to you. Would you want to work there again? And I was kind of in between. I was still focusing on my swimwear. I wasn't sure. So I'm like, sure. So I started working there. My branch manager, John Anding, still love him to this day. He still calls me all the time. I worked for him for like probably a year, and that's when he's like, Vanessa, my clients like you better than they like me. You need to just get licensed. And so I did, and the rest is history.
Sweet.
Sounds like a turning point in your life.
It was.
That one spot.
It was.
Because you brought it up like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
That's great.
No, and you know what? He's probably one of my favorite branch managers because he taught me a lot, and he was very patient with me. Because sometimes branch managers are busy. They don't have the time to help you with things. And he honestly showed me a lot of what I didn't know step by step. And him and this other underwriter that was working at our office were integral, if I'm saying that correctly, in my career of mortgage.
So what happened with the designing and the swimsuits?
Well, fast forward a couple of years down the road, I didn't design anymore, but my mom was like, hey, why don't we open a boutique and you can kind of do that on the side, because this was at the time when Claremont, I don't know if you guys remember, but on Indian Hill, they were building that whole like new shopping center. This is a long time ago. So anyway, she's like, why don't we open a boutique, hire some people, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, I'll help you. So I was doing mortgage and that at the same time. So we opened a boutique right on Indian Hill in Claremont. It was successful for about 6 years. And then I ended up selling it to a girl from Tennessee that had moved to California to start a business. And I had just gotten pregnant with my daughter. So I did not.
What year was this?
2011.
Ooh, so right after the crash. Mm-hmm. Right after the
so
crash.
So kind of like, I wasn't like loving the mortgage world as much, and I wasn't making as much money. So my mom's like, well, why don't we try this? So she invested some money with me, for me, because I didn't really have any at the time. So we started a business in Claremont, like I said, and it was a women's boutique. I mean, I made friendships with these women. I mean, I still see them out and about because I'm always in Claremont. And it was awesome. But like I said, 6 years later, I sold it for a good chunk of money.
Yeah.
And sadly, that girl closed a year later.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but.
It's hard being a business owner.
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, you have to think about payroll, employees. Like,
what? No,
some girls wouldn't show up, and then I'm like, I gotta go work now. What the?
What?
I'm like, no, I want to be home. So yeah, once I got pregnant, I was not feeling good. I was like, I'm done. So I went back to the mortgage world full time once I got pregnant. And yeah, I've been here going strong since I want to say 2012. Stronger than before, for sure.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So what's next for you?
I don't know what's next. I mean, I recently came to a company that I love the past 4 or 5 months. Mm-hmm. So I feel that what I'm building here is better than the last 6-7 years that I've had in the mortgage world, because they provide a lot of things that I feel are helpful to a loan officer. So I'm just kind of trying to keep building my business. That's kind of what I'm working.
Well, it sounds like you're an entrepreneur by nature.
I am.
Does this help or suppress your business?
Does what help?
Just having that in you.
Oh gosh. I think it helps it for sure, because I kind of think there's some people that will think of because we're not self-employed, right? But in a sense, we kind of are, because how much work we put into our work is what we're going to get out. And I look at my line of work, I guess, as more of my own business, because if I don't feel like working tomorrow, I don't have to. But then again, if I want to make a certain amount of money, I have to put in the work, and I have to look at the numbers. What am I spending on marketing? What am I doing this? You know what I mean? So I do view it as a business, and I don't think some people do. So I do think the fact that I have an entrepreneurial spirit, like my dad, it does help a lot. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Why is everybody looking at me? It's awkward right now. This is awkward silence, man. I was like, it's your turn to carry it, guy.
It's very uncommon that you don't say something. So it's kind of like, is Lee okay?
Like,
is something wrong with him?
What is
What's
Lee
going
thinking
on?
right now?
What is Lee
Yeah.
Well, coronavirus?
He's got his money tie on today.
What?
Look at
Too many
Lee.
Money
Coronas?
tie.
I want to know what's wrong, man. You okay?
You know what? I
You need a hug?
really,
Not
really,
for me.
really
She'll give you a
feel
hug.
that that's sincere, and I thank you for that. I
Kip,
thank you. I'm good. I'm
Can you
good.
hug him?
I'm good. What? See?
Let me mute everything.
Yeah. No, that'll be a no. That'll be a no. So what kind of is your entrepreneurial spirit like gone, or is
No.
it stifled, or
No,
is
honestly,
it dormant?
No. So it's funny because my husband and I are completely different, because I'm always looking for like businesses to start, always. And recently I was looking into starting a, you guys are guys, so you probably don't really know, but like the aesthetic world of things like Botox and
Oh, yeah. Those places
fillers.
are popping up here
Oh
and
yeah.
there,
So I'm really into that, because I'm really into skincare and all that, taking care of yourself, self-care. So a friend of mine, she's in the, she does medical sales, like medical supply type sales. She sells this machine that does liposuction. So she's very much into that world, and I'm really close with her. So we're like, what can we do to like start one of these, what are they? I forget. They have a term for these, but anyway, we've been something like that. Not esthetician, but more of like Anyway, you can get all that stuff done at this place, and I can't remember the name of it. But we've been thinking about opening one of these up, and we were looking into like rents and stuff. It was just really high, and we needed to get a nurse to be able to do the Botox and stuff, which we already had that, which is my mom. We had to get a doctor, which I have that. That's my uncle. So I literally was serious about this, but then my husband put the stop to it because he's just not into
risk.
He's not. Him and his family are just. It's funny. Our families are very opposite. His family is anti-risk. My family's like, all risk. Let's just risk everything.
In the mob?
Huh?
Isn't he in the mob?
We like to say that.
Pretty sure he's a gangster.
Yes.
Pretty sure her husband's a gangster.
That's pretty intense.
There might be money buried in the backyard.
Those are
I don't know.
so different mindsets. I mean, entrepreneur's mindset is that you're going to take a risk and there's a really big reward, but that's an entirely different than what you just said was, hey, I'm kind of in business, but I'm kind of an employee. The opposite ways of thinking. The employees think, well, I should, get an hourly wage. I got security behind me. But that's not the way an entrepreneur thinks. An entrepreneur thinks, I'm building mine.
Right.
And what I get is what I put in. And if I don't put anything in, I'm not getting anything.
For sure.
And that's so those are two gigantic different mindsets. Chris, it looks like you're about to head out.
A little bit. Better?
Oh, is this better?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's funny because when you're married to someone like that, it can either be good or bad. And there's been times where we've kind of like butted heads about it, but thankfully I have a type of husband that just kind of lets me do what I want. He's like, you're Hispanic. I just can't say anything to you. I'm like, okay.
You can hide behind that one all day long,
100%.
Right?
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, then why'd you marry me then? I get all crazy.
There you go. Would you say full on, you commit?
Oh, yeah.
Commit
I have this
crazy?
shirt that says like chingona, and he hates that shirt. Hates it. Like he literally like tried to throw it away. I'm like, I'm getting this shit out of the trash.
Nobody Google what that means. Nobody Google.
What does it mean?
I'm prohibiting everybody from Googling. In fact, I'm going to see if I can turn off the internet for
You're
that
acting
one
like
word.
China right now. You're very
right.
China.
All right, cool. Everybody Google it. Whatever. Do it.
So yeah, it's like when I play the Hispanic card, he gets really mad, but hey, it's true. He's like, you're just like your mom right now, and then we start fighting. But
Oh my gosh, that's
Wow.
a crazy
the mom
statement.
one is like putting just a knife in there.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, like that, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. So what's on the future? What's present? What's in your mind?
I want to know what your next project is. Sounds like there is one.
There always is. There always is. I was actually thinking of this business the other day. Gosh, because I'm always thinking of ways to make money, right? Other ways to make money instead of what I do every day.
Like, what are the ways? Give me one.
I was even looking into a franchise, honestly.
Which franchise? I love these.
It's called Lean something. It's almost like a meal prep company that they're popping up everywhere. They have 2 locations right now. One's in Corona, one's in Upland, or opening in Upland. So I was like, oh, okay. I wanted to look at the numbers of that. And actually, it's funny. I just did an open house probably 2 weeks ago where that house was an assisted living facility.
That's a big one right there.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
And I was talking about the numbers with their agent, and my mind was blown because I was like, oh my gosh, so all you have to do is buy a house and have it, basically regulated for an assisted living facility and get licensed, and you make X amount per patient a day. My mind was blown. So I was very much looking into that for a little while, the last 2 weeks. So that's still in the cards too. So I'm not sure. I just have to see who would be willing to go in on that with me. I'm thinking maybe my mom, because she is a nurse, so she knows about those kinds of things. That's kind of where my mind's at recently. But yeah.
What's your passion? What's your passion?
Honestly, I still really do love fashion. So
See, now, if you find that, if you can go with the passion, and you really love it, then even if you're not knocking it out of the park, if you love what you're doing,
right,
that makes up for so much.
It's very true. I will say, probably one of my happiest times was when I was doing the boutique and and also working in the mortgage world. But it's just I really love. Here's the thing. So I didn't even tell you guys about this, but when I was in high school, I worked at Nordstrom, and I would put together outfits for clients. I was kind of like a personal shopper in a sense, but not really. But so I would put together outfits for clients, and just to see their faces light up once they feel good was amazing. And so,
this is like the perfect time. See, here's the thing: the internet changed the world, and it's beautiful. It's not like breaking news or anything,
right?
But it changed the world because it created all these different verticals, and like the Instagram model. The Instagram model in the old days, you couldn't do that because you didn't have the way to get it out there, the distribution mechanism.
Right.
Once Instagram came around, then all of a sudden you get all these people that get a following. I'm a model, and they take some good shots. They get a good photographer, and they're able to get compensated by people who create.
Do you know what some
wear.
of those bloggers make?
Oh my God! Do you know what PewDiePie makes? Do you know who PewDiePie is?
No.
It's one of my favorite topics. PewDiePie is the #1 YouTuber in the world. Well, he was anyway. Somebody just passed him last year.
See, I follow the girls that post like the fashion stuff. You know what I mean?
The guy's 27 years old. He made $17 million last year. $17 million. Just last year. Now, some of these Instagram models make $30,000 a post.
Yeah.
A post.
I know of one. And I'm so that's actually kind of that would be one of my dreams, I guess, because I want to know. I actually just recently bought a book that somebody had recommended called What to Post. And so it's about what to post on Instagram and social media to kind of get more of that following, because honestly, that interests me so much. I've seen 2 girls that I know that have now become bloggers that their husbands quit their jobs because they're making so much money.
Yeah, you can do if you
Just
do
to
it
help
correctly.
them.
Now, it's a blip. I firmly believe it's a blip. I was involved in the .com era when we were funding the .coms. I was a venture capitalist for the .coms, and it was a time when everybody who was doing it made a ton of money. We made a ton of money, but it was a blip. It's not going to survive forever, my opinion. It's going to balance itself out, but during the blip time, make your hay while the sun shines. You know, that's a great situation.
Well, and it's so easy nowadays just to literally look at a post and like, oh, she has this sweatshirt on. She linked it here. Click on it. You go to your Amazon. You can buy it. I literally just did that the other day, and it's scary because you know that's how they're making their money. But
But if you're in fashion, it's not out of scope for you to build your own fashion line.
Right.
For you to be basically manage.
Are you going to fund it for
models.
me, Lee? Because that's the problem.
I'm not entirely against it. Listen to that. I'm not entirely against it.
Okay.
However, it has to be a full business model with the ROI. It has to.
Right.
And I'm good with that. I really am, especially since you have the degree in fashion. That's huge. That gives you a big advantage.
Right.
I would see all these people building this stuff and putting themselves out there, and I get excited because it's a market. I love business. I love the way these people out of nowhere just boom. And this
like the whole WeWork situation.
Oh wow, the whole thing. Well, yeah, I like.
That's amazing. I'm listening to that podcast. It's amazing. You guys need to listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan did this thing. He was just and if you listen to his shows, I'm a fan of his. Big shout out to Joe Rogan. Maybe I'll get a little bit more feed because I put a shout out to Joe. Anyway,
nice.
Joe Rogan did really good with his podcast thing.
He's great.
And he pioneered a whole industry. Now, all of us, myself included, we're kind of following in his footsteps, and thank you for blazing the trail because it gives us a new platform.
For sure.
And the platform isn't regulated by the other things that regulate people. So it's just amazing. And you're in that same spot where if you did some type of fashion or some type of all-in-one, hey, I design the fashion, I create the making of it, however that's going to be, and then even the distribution, even if you drop ship, whatever, and then you even manage the models. Oh, you're an all-in-one.
Right.
Boom, just like that.
Yeah.
Boom.
No, I mean it's true. Nowadays it does become a little bit harder with the manufacturing because there's not a lot of places in downtown. I've actually looked into this. There's not a lot of places in downtown LA that will make the garments for you at a decent price, which is why a lot of people have gone, outsourced to China and things like that. But if you want it at a certain price point, then that's what you have to do. But I'm just not sure where I would be on the whole price point level. But I have thought about it, to be honest.
Well, you know what they're doing right now is they'll go and put out a whole bunch of ads. And then they'll put the whole bunch of ads out and they'll pre-sell it. And they'll give you a late delivery date.
Yep. And I've actually ordered stuff like that.
Now they've funded it. And once they funded
then
they can make it, and then it's just a business model. It's very simply a business model.
But let me tell you something about something I ordered from China, which makes me very angry. So, Christmas time, I'm like trying to shop for my kids' presents. My daughter wanted a Fitbit, so it was like I think it was Black Friday. Mm-hmm. So I Googled Fitbit, for a good price, or I don't know what I Googled. Mm-hmm. So I bought it off this website that on the bottom it said it was from New Jersey, but no, it's not. It's from China. Mm-hmm. So do you guys think I have that Fitbit still?
I don't know.
Nope. Still haven't gotten it.
Oh,
they keep sending me messages like, "Oh, it's on its way."
I think there's a big scam going on because like Chris, I haven't even asked him about this, but Chris went out and ordered a workbench. He just bought a workbench, and he tells me, "Hey, listen, I think I got a great deal." And I said, "Yeah, that is a great deal if you get it." Mm-hmm. Did you get it?
Nope.
You haven't gotten
it?
What month was that I bought it?
Probably, I'm going to guess September.
Yeah.
September. Either August or
Did
September.
they give you your money back?
Well, see, one of the things that I think, here's how I think the scam is. because they can clock you through the internet. Wherever you go, there's an algorithm that clocks you. And
Instagram is where I ordered
everything that you're doing, even like now you have an Apple, he has an Apple, I have an Apple. All those little series, they're grabbing what we say and putting into a massive database. And inside of that, they're data mining and figuring out, hey, we want to talk about fashion. So it won't be surprised if some kind of fashion shows up on your phone. But what they do is they target you and they get you to impulse buy. And the way they do it is they're like, hey, this is a cool product. And they got it. They know how. So you go down this path, and before you know it, you order it, and you think it's got the backing of the platform, like Instagram. Yep. But the truth is, it doesn't have the backing of the platform because it's. I think it's a scam. I think I can't.
But how do you get your money back? Because I've been trying.
You can't. That's what I mean. It's a scam. They're gone. What are you going to do?
So angry.
So here's let me tell you what the hack is. Here's the hack. It's beautiful. There's a hack on this. It's beautiful.
What the heck is the hack?
I love it. Because these algorithms, they're better at understanding you than you are at understanding you. They really are. So what you do is you find, and let's say I'm going through and I'm in the tool mode, and I'm like, hey, that's a really cool tool. I love that. I want that tool. Instead of buying it in that app, go straight to eBay or Amazon and put in those exact words, and that thing will come up.
Just find it there. Okay.
And a lot of times you will find it cheaper than what they were selling there, and you'll understand, what they were doing is they were taking pre-orders for a drop ship, and they were funding the campaign prior to. And if they don't, you know how easy it is to create a corporation? It's $75. Well, I think it's about $100 now, but it used to be $75 and a couple of pieces of paper, and you own a corporation. Well, then you build everything around that, and if you collect a whole bunch of money because you did some good targeted marketing, you can fold the corporation. This is what the scammers do.
Wow.
And then who are you going to go after? You're going to go after the corporation? How are you going to get the corporation? You can't.
Trust me, I've tried to get my money back.
Yeah, they're gone.
I've tried for months. And honestly...
What did you try? What did you do?
I emailed... There's no phone number, by the way.
Yeah, never.
There is no phone number.
That would be prohibitive.
Yeah. So here's me 2 days before Christmas going to Target to buy a Fitbit because I still didn't get it.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
So
what did you do to try to get a hold of them?
Okay, so I emailed. I even went onto Better Business Bureau to see if they had any complaints. They didn't.
The
but
BBB's a scam too.
I know. I'm finding this out.
Scams.
So I just finally looked at my receipt, and there was an email on there. Mm-hmm. I emailed that email probably about 10 times till I finally got a response. I emailed in like all caps just to try to get their attention. Yeah. They finally said, "Oh, it's on some ship that's coming to..." Anyway, long story short, I still can't get a straight answer from this company, and I still don't have the Fitbit.
Well, it's happened to me twice. So about 2 years ago, I went out and bought a drone, a real nice drone, videoing in the sky and stuff. And the batteries for this machine are like $200 a pop. They're extremely expensive. So I'm like, I'm going to shop around. I don't need it. It's a toy.
Right.
I'm not using it for business necessarily. So I start my searching, and the campaigns that they're running right now, like Lee just said, Siri's listening to everything, and everything that you're searching, they're keeping track of it, and they're retargeting. So on Facebook, it started popping up. It went from like 100 to 50 to like $20. Some ridiculously low price.
Yep.
So I dug into that, and then I found a package. And this package is like $200, but it comes with 2 batteries and this and that and this and that. And I'm like, this is a way better deal. Bought it. Still haven't
Not smart.
It. So it's happened to me a couple times, but it's an amount where I go, I may lose, but this is too good of a deal to pass.
Hey, speaking of the whole China situation, what the heck do you think about the coronavirus? How is it affecting our business?
Uh-oh.
What do you think? Well, actually, the honesty is the coronavirus is really good for us right now. I mean, you're a lender, I'm a lender.
I thought my sister had it, by the way.
What? What did you say?
I said I thought my sister had it, by the way.
Yeah. So she locked her in a room for 3 days just to make sure.
She's still there?
My mom sends us text messages about like what it's like to have the coronavirus and like all these symptoms. So, so she sends us this like every couple of days. I'm like, Mom, I think Veronica might have this. She's like, I know, that's why I sent it. But anyway, long story short, she doesn't.
She doesn't. But, you double checked? You actually did the test?
She went to the doctor. She went to the doctor.
So they did test.
Yes.
So they did test.
Yes.
This is another thing. It's just like what we were talking about, the scam. The scam, and this one isn't a scam. I'm not going to say it's a scam, but I'm going to tell you how they had the numbers. What we were talking about earlier is how you create a corporation, create a false marketing campaign, and then just fold it. And that's been going on forever and ever and ever. It's not brand new. It's just the internet makes it quicker and easier, and it's hard to track, impossible to track. You could file with the Better Business Bureau, or you can call the cops or whatever. But when they go after the entity doesn't exist anymore.
It's very true.
And they capitalize on the naivety of people. Naivety. Which one is it?
Naivete.
The naive.
Hey, ooh, look at
I
you.
think that's how I've heard it.
You fancy, huh?
I think. I mean, I'm kind of fancy.
Yeah,
I mean, I like to think of myself.
I'm kind of a designer. I design.
I mean, hi, I'm a fashion designer. I'm fancy. Just kidding.
I like that. Ooh, whenever we go somewhere, can you please introduce yourself like that?
Oh my gosh.
I
Okay.
love it.
All
That's
right.
so awesome. That's so awesome. So the coronavirus right now, the coronavirus has everybody
Freaking out. Can I tell you, I got on an airplane a week ago, and my husband made me wear this creepy mask that looked it looked like he ordered them on Amazon,
right?
But they weren't like hospital masks. They looked like as if we were going to a rave. They were black with like some sort of fake mouth on the front. I'm like, couldn't you get normal hospital masks? Like, why do I have to look like I'm going to a rave?
Cool.
That's
awesome.
I did not wear it. Just let me tell you, he did.
Oh, I got it. I got the next winner. You know what? We take the masks and we make them like Darth Vader, and everybody walks around.
I would
with
maybe
Darth
wear that.
Vader. That would be cool,
like
right?
Bane, like Bane.
Like Bane. Okay, we can
I
do
would maybe
Bane.
wear that.
Just a whole designer. You know what? Designer. We need a designer who can design masks. Then we can create a marketing campaign and we can sell the heck out of these things. What do you think?
There we go. I'm using my creativity for that.
The coronavirus has everybody freaked out, and it's actually made interest rates go down for a little while.
100%.
It's amazing. Right now,
I love it.
It's like the
I'm like,
best
keep on coming,
time ever.
coronavirus.
I know. Keep on coming.
Keep on infecting us.
Stay over there.
But to put it in perspective, you know how many people have died from the coronavirus?
It's not good.
Go ahead, tell me.
Okay, so now are we talking just in general, like everywhere,
Tell me your
the whole
knowledge.
world?
Your knowledge.
Okay, so I have heard China. I want to say, I don't know if it was 6,000 or 66,000. I'm probably off a zero. I'm not sure. And I want to say, God, what other area was affected? I think it was because my friend just canceled her trip to Italy because of the coronavirus, because apparently Milan is getting super infected and that's where they were flying into. I think they already had like 12 deaths there, but I could be wrong on that. So I don't know. I'm going to go with, let's say 10,000 altogether. Am I wrong?
So you're thinking...
Am I wrong?
10,000 worldwide or 10,000 in China? Or 10,000, what are you thinking?
I'm going to go 10,000 worldwide.
10,000 worldwide. Okay. So I'm going to give you, because this is how kind of things work, and most people don't get this. I have a saying that I've been saying for years, and that is percentage without perspective is bullshit. And this is what this means. Percentage without perspective is bullshit. Okay? Here's why.
I'm going to put that on my wall.
Okay. Because I knew this was going to come up here, and I pulled the numbers as of about 30 minutes ago.
Ooh, okay. Let's
about
see
30
this.
minutes
Let's
ago.
see
What's
this.
today? What's the date?
Today is February 27th,
Okay.
2020.
What's the time?
It is 11:09 a.m.
Okay, so about 30 minutes ago. Let's just go about 10:30. So this is the worldwide coronavirus
I was
outbreak.
way off.
Currently, there are
Way.
82,000 cases, which is a lot. It's nothing that you should shy away from. It's nothing that you should not pay attention to. You have
Right.
to pay attention to it.
Right.
But there are 82,000 that are infected worldwide. Currently, there are 2,800 deaths.
Oh, I was way off.
Worldwide. No, 2,800 deaths. Now that freaks
Here's a question.
everybody out.
Now, how do they know that they're from the corona? What if there's other sick people that died that really had the coronavirus, but they never checked it out?
We don't know, and that's
okay.
And that's not. These are confirmed cases.
Okay.
And it's an actual virus that they can find in your blood. They have a test for it.
Oh.
Most people recover from the virus. So far, the stats, because I've been following this. I love this kind of stuff. I love it because it's freaking everybody out. I love it. And you know what it's going to do? It's going to sell masks like crazy.
For sure.
There's going to be a run on the grocery stores. Everybody's going to freak out. And you know who's going to make bank as soon as an antivirus comes out? The pharmaceutical companies worldwide.
For sure.
They are going to make bank because if they said right now, hey, we have an antivirus and come and get it. You know how long that line's going to be?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know how many deaths there are in America so far at this time? I put the
Do you
time
know
on
how
purpose.
many in America are of those 2817?
Yeah, I do.
How
But
many?
do you know how many deaths are in America?
No.
I'll let you count it on no hands.
Oh, so
Ready,
there's no
set,
deaths.
go.
Zero?
No hands.
Zero?
Yes. I'll let you, and I will tell you, do you know how many confirmed cases we have at this moment right now in America?
I'm going to say 200.
Drop it.
100.
Drop it.
50.
Up it. Somewhere in between
60.
50 and 100. I think it's 87.
Wow.
I think it's 87. So whoever's checking this, you can check it, but that's the reason I put the time, because it's going to go up. But now here, these are the big things that you watch. Is it something that we should be concerned with? Yes, that's why the WHO, the World Health Organization, is involved in it, and a lot of people are freaked out about it. But in order to put it in perspective, the mortality rate, how many people die, that's a very big number that you have to be. It's right about 2% right now.
That's not as bad as I thought.
For the flu, it's somewhere in 1 to 2%.
Yeah.
And you know who dies? The elderly, the young, and the guys with the compromised immune systems.
Well, you know what's funny? Because I came from this meeting this morning where an economist spoke, and she was talking about the coronavirus, and she was saying how it's going to basically affect our economy, and we might have a recession this year. And I just thought it was very interesting.
It is, but it's, you know
She's
why?
Like, nobody's going to go to the movies. Nobody's going to go to the restaurants.
Do you know why? Because they pander fear. And the pandering of fear will sell masks. It will sell vaccines. It will sell all of these beautiful, crazy stuff. And I say beautiful sarcastically.
My husband was scared enough to buy masks.
Let me give you perspective. Do you know how many people die in America? Just America. Do you know what the population of America is? 320 million.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, let's pretend I knew that. But
okay. Well, 320 million. So you know how many people in America die every year from car crashes?
Oh, gosh. A lot.
Give me a guess.
1 million?
Not that much. But
500,000?
Okay. So it's about 100 to 110,000.
Wow.
100 to 110,000. Now, how many deaths worldwide from corona?
2817.
How many deaths from car crashes in America alone?
100,000 something.
So America has 320 million. 320 million. You know how many people are on the globe? I'll tell you. 7.2 billion people on the globe. Wow. 7.2 billion.
Wow.
Out of 7.2 billion, 2,800 deaths. So now you have to put that in perspective. This is why I say percentage without perspective is bullshit. Now, here's another one. This one will blow you away. Do you know how many hospital-related infections kill people in America every year? This is, you went to a hospital, you went and you just got an infection because they didn't, sanitize or whatever. You know how many every year?
Okay, I'm going to say 25,000.
Good guess. That's a good guess. It's 48,000.
Oh,
it's 48,000 as of 2018. It was 48,000. 48,000. I pulled these numbers. Yeah, 48,000. So that's every year in America, the cleanest hospitals in the world. The cleanest hospitals in the world. Now let's go back to what's the global death toll of coronavirus?
2,817.
Now, if you say 2,800 is something that we should all freak out globally, do you know how many have died in America?
Yeah, none.
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero.
So we shouldn't be freaking
people
out,
freaked
really.
out in America?
Oh, God,
they got everybody scared and terrified, and the markets are being
yeah.
affected, and everybody. Is it something we should ignore? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It is something that we need to address, we need to pay attention to. And the way you pay attention to this, ironically, this is, oh my God, and I'm not a doctor. I'm going to preface it with that. But you hear me say, eat right, exercise. Make sure your immune system is healthy.
It's very true.
If you eat right, exercise, and make sure your immune system is healthy, that's the best angle you're going to have. Because even if they generate a vaccine, the way a virus works is it's constantly mutating, and it changes every day, every minute, it's changing. So when they put out the flu virus every year, they stopped it at a point in time, and they said, okay, we can create an antivirus for this guy right here. But by the time it goes to testing, distribution, and gets into the person's arm, the virus has morphed. So with luck, you're able to fight it to a degree.
Right.
But you're not able to fight it 100% because it's constantly morphing.
For sure. No.
The best protection is keep yourself healthy.
Yeah.
Eat right, exercise.
My mom says stay 8 feet from someone that has coronavirus. Apparently it dies with between 8 feet.
We're going to bring your mom in.
Trust me, she sends me texts every day.
Cool.
Yeah. She's like, if somebody coughs on you, but and it's closer than 8 feet, just go take a shower or something. She said something like that. Yeah, that's what she said. Because she's like, then it'll die. I'm like, okay, Mom.
I want to be leaving in the middle of the day.
And your mom's a nurse, right?
Yep, RN for 40 years.
Okay. Does she tell you wear a jacket or catch a cold?
Oh, every time. She's Hispanic. Wear a jacket. Don't ever be barefoot.
What happens if you're barefoot?
Oh, God, you basically die.
Your mouth goes sideways?
Oh, there's so many things that are caused from being barefoot, according to my mom.
Like what?
Infertility.
Wow! No.
Let's not go.
No. Let's let that just sit in for a little bit. All you women out there.
No, seriously.
Keep going.
So if you have warm feet, you'll get pregnant?
Yes. Seriously. She's like, if your feet are cold,
how'd you get that?
The blood's not flowing to your organs that are important for creating a baby and this and that. Trust me.
To practice.
That's pretty intense.
Safe sex, or not safe, but to not get pregnant, make sure she has cold feet.
Pretty much. That's according to Hispanic moms.
Boom. There it is.
Chris is going to put a whole business
save a lot of money.
Together.
I'm going to save a lot of money.
Anytime my kids are ever sick.
This bucket, please. Like, why? Just because.
No, anytime my kids are ever sick. Oh, were they barefoot? That's her first question.
Were they though? They were.
You know what? I've kind of become my mom to where I freak out. I'm like, please put socks on. Wow. I do tell them. Like it's like I am kind of becoming my mom.
This is kind of interesting.
This
is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
I love it.
Awesome. Did you guys not have a Hispanic mom like that where she was like, put Vapo Rub on your chest?
My grandma would let us go outside with wet hair.
Oh God, that's like a mortal sin to my mom.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Vicks was like the saver. Everything just put Vicks on.
Wet hair, no socks. It's like, oh, you're gonna die.
You're getting the coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever do the cucumbers with vinegar across your head?
That I did not do.
I did.
That was weird. That was weird.
Like
did you ever put garlic in your ear for an ear infection?
Did not.
Olive oil.
Oh yeah,
warm olive oil.
I had to put like a whole entire garlic clove on in my ear.
Well, there's that cone thing too. The cone thing where they light it on fire.
Yep.
What?
I don't know what that's for.
You light your ear on fire?
Not your ear, the cone.
And then when you have a fever, you rub.
Close to my head. I'd be a little afraid with that.
You douse yourself.
I know what happened to Michael Jackson.
With rubbing alcohol.
For what?
When you have a fever.
Where?
On your legs.
Put.
You douse yourself with rubbing alcohol on your legs when you have a fever.
Wow, that's interesting.
Look at these tips of the trade.
And they work. So they say. So they say.
You know, there's times where I think they've worked with the medicine to where I'm not really sure which one's working.
True.
Yeah. Those are things.
Sense.
Yeah.
Your mom's cool though. We should bring your mom and Jay in. I think
my mom has an accent. I mean, she's crazy. Like she'll, Jamba Juice. She'll be like Yamba Juice. Like that's how she talks.
Yeah.
I don't know that you guys.
I love that. No, it's so great. Awesome. It gives flavor. It gives you flavor in the conversation.
We're just gonna lay into you.
It's just like how are you gonna introduce yourself?
Fashion designer.
There you go. I love that. That's like that's so perfect. It's so perfect.
Oh my God.
So what else? Come on, young lady. I know you're interesting. I know you got a lot of stuff.
Ask me some questions. Ask me whatever you want.
Okay, so in the loan business, what's the craziest situation you ever went through? Because people look at this and they're like, all right, I go to a bank, I get a home loan. It's kind of boring, mundane stuff. But the truth is, in the back office where the people don't see, it's chaos.
Oh, yeah.
It is chaos because
we're
all trying to hit dates. We're all trying to make everybody happy. There's so many parties involved. Everything's moving in a lot of different directions. So when at the beginning I said therapist, that's a part of the job.
Oh, yeah.
It's a part of the job. So you're a therapist, you're a professional, you're a mathematician, you're a problem solver. You're a lot of different things. But tell us your craziest story.
Okay, there's a couple. Okay, recently there was a couple buying a house, 2 women together. And literally the day before we go to close, one of them, let's just call her Candy just be, I'm not going to say real names. So Candy calls me and she's like, Vanessa, I don't think I can go through with this because let's call the other one Becky. Okay. Becky, she didn't text me back yesterday and I don't really know the status of our relationship and this and that. So basically I had to play counselor between the two. Long story short, they ended up breaking up. So we didn't close on that house in particular, but Candy ended up buying a house with her son like a month later. But they were in my office. We were doing I'm not kidding. We were doing like counseling sessions together. I was trying to like get them back together. Like I'm like, do you guys really love each other? Because they were together for like 10 years. But something happened that I don't know. But there was some situation there that really caused them to break up that I don't think they wanted to tell me. But I was basically a therapist for like a week for them. It was crazy. Okay, here's another one. One of my clients, he had, so with peeling paint, how we can't do, if there's peeling paint, they have to take it off and repaint, whatever. Yeah. So he could not afford, the seller was not going to do it for him. He could not afford to do it either. So me and the agent literally got out there, we're scraping paint and painting his house for him.
Through just contractor mode.
Yeah, yeah, which actually was kind of fun.
It is fun.
I would probably do that more often.
I mean, it may not be a pro job.
Right.
But it's cool to get out there every now and again.
For sure.
Get
a little dirty, roll up our sleeves, get a little dirty. Yeah. It's kind of fun.
It is. Get outside, a little change of atmosphere.
Yeah, I'm all about that. I love it.
I mean, it's a pain in the butt, don't get me wrong. But when you get to change the day-to-day stuff, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Lee don't like doing stuff like that, though. He likes to be in an office. He keeps his hands clean.
Yeah,
I can tell sarcastic. I can tell by the money tie and the
idea.
You know, the cufflinks and all this.
He has those office hands.
Yeah, soft hands.
That's me.
Soft hands.
That's all I do. Yeah.
Hey, do you have calluses?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not really.
Not really.
Yeah, pretty hands, man.
You know, I get that a lot. I get that a lot. I get uncomfortable when he tells me. He tells me like every week.
You have soft hands too. What are you talking about?
I work in an office.
See?
Yeah. So entrepreneurial, you're going forward. Do we have ideas? Like I really love what you just came up with. That whole fashion thing.
I want to start a business with you now.
Yeah.
I think it's a blip. I think it's a good spot to make a ton of cash.
A blip.
Yeah.
A blip. Yeah.
Tell me what you're thinking.
Well, let's say you started an all-encompassing thing.
You know what's funny is me and my sister tried to start our own little blogging situation called Things I Bought and Liked, okay? Because there was a similar one on Instagram where we would post things that we bought and we would kind of try to link where we bought it. It got some traction. We just didn't post enough because we both live, she's an attorney, so we both live busy lives, so we couldn't.
What kind of attorney?
She actually does contract and employment law.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, because that could come in very handy.
Yes. Oh, it does at times.
Yeah.
It does at times. She's awesome. Yeah. Cutler Legal in Claremont. Just FYI. Just kidding.
Dang, look at you making look at you, your little plug there.
Giving her a shout out. So we tried to do that to try to kind of tag the things that we liked and whatnot. And it worked for some time.
You don't have to whisper. You can say, "Hey, are we over?"
I'm like, "Hey, are we over?"
We're good. We're good.
No, we got.
So it worked, but we just didn't post enough. So I would so be into something like that, like fashion.
Well, because if you already have the degree and you have somewhat the infrastructure in fashion design, then to design something is right up your alley. Because if you ask me to do it, I have no idea. I have no idea distribution. I have no idea manufacturing. I have no idea. But you do.
Yeah.
And then there's the marketing side of it. And I think there's Instagram models like everywhere that are trying to get that huge following. And if you can kind of become a manager of Instagram models that creates the fashion brand, you become a Victoria's Secret-ish. Because they have their secret models, right? That's their models. They own the models. They basically and they design the stuff,
right?
And then they market the stuff, and it's a dying. That one business is not doing so great as it used to,
right?
But if you hit it with the new venue or with the new way, with the new angle, I think it can work again. I think it worked pretty good.
It's very true. I mean, I'm always looking for ways to do stuff like that. So we'll see what I come up with.
Let's start a business.
Let's do it.
Do something unique and crazy.
Okay.
Like what?
God.
What's unique and crazy right now? What are people
Loan
doing?
officer clothing line.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
You're going to sell these shirts?
Yes.
Sell these shirts and those glasses?
Absolutely. Some
You can sell my
Oakleys.
glasses.
Well, not those.
Yeah, I know you.
I have a question. How long have you had those?
This pair?
1983.
I got them in 1983. No, these are actually the
as old
first
as
ones
me,
that came
just
out were called Blades. And
Blades.
back in the
Jose
day, I couldn't afford them.
was wearing them.
Oh.
Yeah, that's true. I couldn't afford them. They were too expensive, and I didn't have that kind of cash at the time.
Wow.
So when I got able to afford them, they're not called Blades anymore. These are called M2s.
Guys do that.
M2.
We do that. Like a couple years ago, I went out and bought a bike. And
like a motorcycle type?
No, like a bike.
Oh, like a regular bike?
Like a pedal bike.
Oh, wow.
Like a bicycle with
I thought you were like kind of cool and tough for a second. I was like, oh, yeah, he's riding a motorcycle, but no, regular bike.
Yeah, girl, I got a motorcycle.
Wait, are we talking like, like the bike clubs that like road bike on
exactly.
Like,
that's exactly it.
Like with the bike shorts? Did you get
I
those?
do have a motorcycle, by the way.
Yeah,
I am a cool guy.
But wait, did you wear the bike shorts when you rode your road bike?
No, you're going too far with this, young lady.
No, I like it. Keep going.
But
You're embarrassing me right now.
You embarrass him.
Because the road bike crews
does wear them.
have to wear bike shorts.
He does wear them.
Have to. There's
and
no
he clips
rules.
in.
Every crew that I see
Ask
wears
him about
the
clipping
tight,
in.
Yes. Let me tell you something. 2 years ago, I wanted a road bike for my birthday.
Okay.
And it was like the most epic fight between me and my husband.
Okay.
Because he basically said I was going to die because of the whole clipping in situation.
Yes. He clips in. And he clips in. And those things cost more than a car.
Yeah.
Those bikes, they cost more than a car.
Yeah, they're a lot. They're a lot.
So I was saying, guys, they do foolish stuff.
But
the only reason why I got
are you part of a road bike club?
No. You want to start one?
Do you think he should be?
Let's start one.
I think he should be.
I think you should be.
Now, ask him if he's ever raced.
But you have to wear the
Ask
situation.
him if he's ever raced.
Have you ever raced?
Yeah.
Did you do like Tour de Foothills? Did you do that one?
No, it's the Redlands Classic.
Oh.
Ask him how he did.
How'd you do?
Absolute last.
No.
Well, listen to
Was
this
it
story.
uphill? Was it uphill?
Hold on, let me give
Was
you
it
my
uphill?
point. Let me give you my point.
Is that why you were last?
And then I'll tell you the story.
Okay,
it's a
fine,
good
go
story.
on.
You got to hear the
The
story.
reason why he owns those glasses is because he couldn't get them when he wanted them, so he got them when he could.
Oh,
The
I
reason
can
why
relate to
own
things like that.
bike is because I couldn't
Get
get
it
it when I
when
was
you-
a kid, but
Yep.
now that I can afford it, I got it.
I think we all have something like that
Wait,
to
what's a
wear.
woman thing?
What's a woman thing?
Yeah.
Okay, Valentino shoes for
He
$900.
just tried to sidestep the story. Don't let him.
Oh yeah, so no. Let's go back. Let's go back to your bike.
I teach this stuff for a living. I know when it's happening. He's trying to sidestep. Don't let him sidestep the story.
Okay,
wait, no, I'm sorry. Redlands Classics. Let's go.
Thousands and thousands of cyclists get involved in this, and there's different levels. There's actually
what level were you? Beginner
level. There is one.
Okay.
Guess which one I signed up for? The intermediate beginner level.
Okay.
With one of my agents that I work with, who is actually a really good cyclist still. He's in his 60s, but in his day, he actually had a team, and they used to kick ass.
Okay.
And he still rides till this day, and he is better than me. Okay. So he says, hey, Chris, let's get into the intermediate class. And I'm like, intermediate beginner? Yeah, let's do that. Because I ride bikes. I'm not a pro, but I ride bikes. So I'm like, I can hang with the beginners. And he's like, let's do this, Chris. So we do it. We sign up.
Okay.
We show up. There's thousands of cyclists getting their gear on and warming up. There's actually people in the parking lot with stationary bikes doing a warm-up.
Oh, Lord.
And I just woke up. I literally just woke up, and I'm like, all right, so there's a serious guy. He must be in the pro races, because there's pro races too. So
did you get mixed in with the pros?
No, I'm in the intermediate beginner race.
Okay.
So we line up. There's a group of bikes, hundreds of bikes in this race, and we're going around the city of Redlands. So the course is in the city of Redlands, and it's miles long, but it's a circle. You do pass the same point, I think, 3 times.
Was it uphill at all?
Yeah, some of it's uphill, some of it's downhill, some of it's flat.
Okay.
It's in Redlands, so Redlands is kind of
So why were you last, Chris?
So
did you fall?
They say go.
Oh, my God.
They say go. So the swarm, kind of like a swarm of bees, starts taking off, right?
You got clipped.
And I'm in
by
it.
someone.
I'm in it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. About 2 minutes in, this starts happening. This swarm of bees starts taking off ahead of me.
Oh, no. And you were just left behind.
The agent that I'm with, too, who can ride.
So you're like, okay, bye.
No,
you can
I'm
go
like,
ahead.
all right, let me just try and see if I could speed up. Let me just catch them. Let's stay with the group.
Was that part uphill when they left you?
20 minutes in, this group is right behind me now.
They totally lapped you.
They're lapping me.
Oh, wow.
They've gone miles ahead of me.
Okay, so let's just say you're not really a great bike rider.
I get to this point to where the guy calls me to the side of the road and says, you probably should just leave the race.
No.
They kicked me out of the race.
You're kidding me.
The beginner immediate race.
How slow were you going?
Here's what.
Hold on. Let's keep that for a second.
Oh my god!
I want you to ask that one more time.
How slow were you going? Like really?
I thought I was going pretty fast.
In the race, how slow were you going, Chris?
I can hear the wind in my ears.
No. You don't understand. She changed the entire angle. Not how fast were you going. She said, how slow were you going? Go.
Everyone needs to know how tall you are right now. Your actual height.
Wait, did you have the right gear on? Like, what was happening here?
I spent top dollar on my stuff. I even sponsored the event.
And again, I ask, was it uphill? Because that's the only reason why you should be going slow. Some uphill?
That's the only way you should be going
slow.
Now,
what about the little downhills? Were you trying to go faster on those?
I was doing the most that I could.
Did you kind of get some speed there?
Absolute most that I could.
Did you get a little speed on the downhill?
What I didn't know is this is the beginner for the pros.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh.
These are guys that are trying to make it. These are the guys that are going to try to get to Tour de France one day.
So you should have been like beginner, like with maybe
I should have been
the kids
on the
or
curb,
something.
Over there by Target, just messing around and not in a race.
No.
But I did it.
Road biking's not your thing, let's just say.
It's my thing that I do for fun. I'm not a pro. And I will never be a pro.
So you still do road biking?
Oh, yeah. Get a bike. Let's start a team.
Okay. But you have to wear the bike shorts if we get a team together.
If you invest, I'll invest.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, it was a fight 2 years ago when I wanted that for my birthday. But he's like, you're not going to be able to clip in, and you're going to be on baseline, and you're going to fall, and a car's going to run over you. And I have too. I've seen people break bones.
Been close.
Yeah.
I've been close. It's a technique.
Okay.
I took the clips off actually.
I mean, I do spin classes, but that's about as road bike-ish as I get.
Clip in and spin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so
but I haven't done it on the road, but it's probably scarier.
Scary.
Yeah. I'm definitely not going to do it with you because it doesn't sound like you're very good.
You'll be way over there, and I'll be
hold on.
I'll be parked.
I love this.
I'm going to go with like an actual crew that knows what they're doing. Maybe be in the middle of them.
Ouch! Jesus! Last time I shared an intimate story with you. Yeah.
No, I'm loving this. Keep going.
Keep going.
I mean,
I came in first.
Yeah. For like the kids division?
No, the first loser. The first loser.
No. That's great. The kids division.
Wait,
That's where you should have been.
Where's that race at?
Since he sponsored it, they gave him in first place of the kids
I got
division.
a trophy and everything.
There you
First
go.
loser.
Did you at least get like a cup or like a little fake medal to take home?
No, I left before that stuff went down.
It's like I'm not gonna be
Like,
around.
where did Chris go? I don't know. He's gone.
Gosh.
I went home. Went home and took a nap.
That's some soup.
That was a tough race. Called my mom, told her to give me a hug.
Wow.
I got my butt kicked. Anyway,
Yeah.
I tried.
See, he
I
tried
give it
to
all I got.
sidestep that
Kudos
story.
to
That's
you.
such a good story. He
Kudos
does
to
tell
you.
it good too. He tells it pretty good.
That's the truth, man.
Okay.
It's a painful situation. So tell me something about you, man.
Painful.
Something painful. Yeah.
Painful.
Give us something painful.
Painful. I don't want to talk about.
Tell her about your bikini model days.
What?
Oh wow.
No, we're talking about the how you help people, how you were a therapist and stuff.
Yes.
I got a good story.
Oh, we're
You
back
can
on
love
that.
this.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we're gonna,
Okay.
we're gonna a good story. Okay, so I'm a veteran. I help a lot of vets with loans, a lot of
Yes.
VA loans. Do a lot of VA loans.
Yes.
And this one guy calls me up. I have a piece of advertising out there. He calls me. He says, "Lee, I'm a Vietnam vet. I saw your thing, and I don't think I'm going to qualify, but I figured I'd give you a call anyway, and let's go ahead and see if anything can happen." I said, "Sure, man. Tell me your deal." And he says, "All right, I'm 100% service connected. I'm not able to work because Vietnam stuff." And I said, "That's fine. That's cool." So, and I pulled his credit, and his credit was horrible.
Okay.
And I said, "No worries. Let's see if we can get you fixed," which is normal. We do that to
Right.
people all the time. So I said, "Okay, let's get you fixed." All right, cool. So we get him fixed. It takes about 6 months, but I get him fixed. And then we go through this whole beautiful thing, and we get him a house. And he's got a beautiful house, but that's not the good part of the story. We get him a beautiful house, got a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house in in Beaumont. And it's just beautiful, beautiful,
High
beautiful.
tax rate,
And
Beaumont.
he wasn't, high tax rate. So about 6 months after we get him the house, it's getting close to Christmas, and he calls me, and he's all choked up.
Oh no.
And he's like, "Lee, I just called to say, thank you for this because, I got a house now for Christmas." And I'm like, "It's just standard." I'm like, "Yeah, man, no worries. That's my job. I'm very happy. I'm happy to help you." And he goes, "Lee, I got to tell you something." He goes, I want you to hear this because it's important." And I said, "All right, man, tell me. And he goes, "Listen, for the last 20 years, I've been living with 3 other guys, and it's because I could never get a place of my own." And he says, "I got 2 kids, and they live in different states. And every year for Christmas, they would come back, and they would see me, but they would have to stay in hotels, and we'd have to kind of see each other on and off." And he goes, and he's all choked up, and I'm starting to get choked up. And he goes, "Lee, you think you just got me a house?" He goes, "Here's what you need to understand. My kids are coming home this Christmas, and they are staying in their room." In my house, and I have a spot for them. And he says, "Lee, you didn't give me a house. You gave me my dignity back."
Oh. And that's why we do what we do.
And I sat there and I was just stunned.
Yeah.
There's very rarely that I can get stunned, but he just stunned me.
There's sometimes those clients that get that way, and you just
forever. This guy's got my heart, man. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
So every time I'm in a tough transaction or even something, I just think of this story and I go, "No, I'm going to see this through. It may work, it may not work, but the only way that it can work is if I believe in it and I go in and I touch." So that's those beautiful stories. I have some beautiful, and that's one of the good things about our industry.
No, definitely. I think we all have those stories that just kind of touch your heart, and it kind of. Because you know how you have those moments or those months. Because I tell everybody I quit my job at least once a week. I do. I'm not kidding. But then you have those moments like those clients where they keep you going. You know what I mean? And they give you.
Makes it worth it.
Absolutely.
Makes it worth it.
Absolutely.
So we're closing up here. Anything that you would like to say in closing?
Nothing but thanks, guys. This was really fun. I would love to do it again.
It's kind of cool, right? Just
it's great.
So let me get this straight. You are a loan officer, fashion designer. You are a entrepreneur, a mom,
ex-bikini model.
Ex-bikini model.
I like to run.
She likes to
run.
Wow. We can talk about that a different day.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it was nice to meet you.
I'm not very fast, but I like it.
Actually,
So.
I already knew you.
Yeah, I already knew you guys too.
It's all good. Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys. It was great.
Cool.
All right.
And we are out.
Bye. I'm putting stuff out. Jay's chiming in. Hey, young lady.
Oh, hi.
Hi. How are you?
I wanted to take pictures. So can you put them